Four San Antonio police officers fired amid allegations of excessive use of force. The FBI is now investigating. Records obtained by the KENS 5 Eyewitness Wants to Know team revealed why San Antonio police believe these officers shouldn't wear the badge. Here's Mariah Medina.
From allegations police officers caused a man severe and unnecessary bodily injury to claims an officer put a knee on a man's neck while he was in handcuffs. The FBI is now reviewing the actions of four San Antonio police officers who were handed indefinite suspensions last month. It's the department's equivalent of being fired. The four officers, Carlos Castro, Thomas Villarreal, Michael Brewer, and Andre Vargas, all fired amid allegations of excessive use of force in two separate incidents. Police records say officers Castro and Villarreal were suspended in connection with a January traffic stop. A police report says the pair pulled over Eric Wilson for an alleged traffic violation, and when Wilson parked in the driveway of an East Side home and walked into the house, ignoring officers' commands, they kicked his door down without a warrant, alleging they smelled marijuana. They repeatedly punched Wilson because they say they feared he was reaching for a weapon, according to records. He was hospitalized, police records state. This mugshot showing Wilson's still swollen face from the aftermath of the punches.
Very troubling.
Civil rights attorney Daryl Washington has sued the city on numerous occasions for allegations of police misconduct, including in the case of Charles Roundtree, who was fatally shot by police in 2018. Washington says he sees similarities in Wilson's case and the case which resulted in Roundtree's death.
If the proper disciplinary actions would have been taken against those officers, it really leads me to believe that the cases now that we are currently talking about would have not happened, because it's so very similar. There was no warrants that were issued, and now we have individuals who are victims of police brutality.
Also fired last month, officers Brewer and Vargas. Records say their firings came from the November 2019 arrest of Matthew Garza. Garza filed a complaint against the two officers following his arrest. Disciplinary documents say an investigation revealed that Brewer put his knee on Garza's neck and head while he was handcuffed, and that Vargas subjected Garza to unnecessary force when he lifted him off the ground by his handcuffs. All of the officers' firings aren't final. Each have appealed their suspensions and will go before an independent arbitrator who could potentially reverse San Antonio Police Chief William McManus's decision. San Antonio Police Officers Association President Mike Kelly said the arbitration process protects officers from political bias or other discriminatory methods. McManus, on the other hand, sent the following statement in which he called the officers' actions indefensible. He says he's called on the FBI to review the two cases. Mariah Medina, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.